Hi friends, it's Gwen. Welcome back to my channel. Today I'm here to do a book review and I haven't done one in a while. I just finished Warcross by Marie Lu last night and I thought I would sit down while the thoughts are fresh in my mind and review it for you because I haven't really seen any reviews of this book. And I know it was like super popular on like BEA time, BookCon, whatever you want to call it, and I haven't heard anybody review this. Am I not looking? I don't know. Let's talk about it. If you don't know, Marie Lu is a pretty popular author here on BookTube. She's written two other very popular YA trilogies. Let me look them up because I have read neither of them. She did Legend, Prodigy, Champion, and then she did The Young Elites, The Rose Society, and The Midnight Star. So I haven't read either of those, so this was my first taste of Marie Lu's writing, and I loved it. It moved seamlessly. It was very beautiful. You could like picture things, the environment, just the way people were feeling and looking and reacting. I really, really loved that. I did receive this in my uppercase subscription box, which I am a subscriber to, which means I was lucky enough to get the signed edition. So I'm really excited about that. Let me tell you a quick premise of this. My first impression is that it's a little bit like The Hunger Games, as in when the story starts, you're meeting the main character, you're getting a little bit of background information on them. They're kind of down on their luck. They don't have much. They're from the poorer side of town. And then there is this game involved. Of course, in the Hunger Games, it's more dystopian, and this is more sci-fi. And I don't read sci-fi, but this is like a virtual reality game that has kind of taken over. People all over the world play it, and we're in the tournament season right now. So our main character is a girl gamer. She's a coder. She's a hacker. And she ends up hacking in to this game and like during one of these like really important tournaments, and the owner of the company ends up sending for her because he needs a favor. So it's super high energy, adrenaline pumping, page turner. Really loved it. What I also love is it's super diverse. Not only does it have like the main character is a person of color, but there's other people that are persons of color in the story as well. There is also I want to say gay side character and a disabled side character, and it's all done so seamlessly well that it doesn't seem out of place or like the author put it there just to check that diversity box. I guess more importantly, I should say a queer side character, because it's not stated on the page what the character actually identifies as. So I'm going to say queer in this instant. I hope that's right. I hope I'm doing the right thing. I'm trying. Now, another big difference between the Hunger Games and this one is this one's set like more like in the future, this virtual reality game. So it's not like people go to this game one time and people are killed off. This is all virtual reality. So when they actually go to the games, they're put in these boxes and then they are like projected as avatars into the world. And then in this story, they're in the championships, so there's several different rounds to find out like the final winner. And the objective of our main character, she has been hired by the owner, this really rich billionaire, to help him track down a hacker that he's thinking is ruining the game. That's what you're led to believe. So our main character, Amika, goes to Tokyo and she ends up becoming part of the games. She also develops this romance, and I loved the romance. I was living for it. I was crossing my fingers for it. I was just all about it. It was so cute. Loved it to death. I also listened to this on audiobook, so I did notice some differences, slight differences, nothing major plot, but just like word choices were either changed or they were left out. And I am so curious about how audiobooks are read and done. I need to do some more research about that. If you know anything about that or have any articles you can link me to, please link them down below in the comment section, because I'm so interested which version of the story these audiobook people get and like how many like steps ahead of it is it to the finished copy, because I have seen that in several different audiobooks, but in this one I noticed it more and more and more. So not only are the characters super fleshed out, especially the main characters, but side characters definitely have their own story, and I would love to get more of those side characters' stories as the series continues. Now, before I go into talking about the series, I don't actually know if I will continue on, and I will get onto that in a little bit. But I love that not only were the characters fleshed out, but the world and the game. Like, I understood how the game worked, what it looked like. I felt like I was there, being in Tokyo and all the lights and like everything. It was done so well. It wasn't like overly descriptive, but it was like the perfect amount. So I really think that Marie Lu has a strong grasp on how to create a world without it being like too wordy, too many adjectives thrown on a page, if you know what I'm saying. Now, the beginning part of the book is a little bit slower than the middle or a little bit after the beginning, just because it's kind of setting up our main character and what she does and what she's capable of, and you know what's going on with this billionaire and the game and you know all of that. So it is a little bit, but it's not like boring slow. It's just giving you a lot of background, but it's not an info dump at all. I'm probably not explaining this very well, but anyway, believe me, worth it, totally worth it. You won't be bored at all. It just was a little bit slower than the action-packed adrenaline ride that you get on later in the story. It definitely, I really enjoyed the like beginning and the middle. The ending, okay. Here's where I have like a little bit negative things to say about this. Now, don't get me wrong. I rated the story 4 stars, which is huge because I don't read sci-fi. This is the first time I'm reading this author's works. It's probably not something I would have picked up on my own, but I really, really enjoyed it. One reason I took off a star is it does have that infamous line about letting out a breath that they didn't even know they were holding, and that drives me crazy. On page 304, I let out a breath I didn't know I was holding. Why? I just don't understand. Authors, please just stop using it. It's so overused. I see that line and I cringe. Okay, so back to the pacing. The beginning and the middle were super strong, but then at the end, I felt like, yes, there were things that you were going to see coming a mile away, but there were definitely times that it was like a secret or a surprise. You didn't see things coming, but it felt rushed. I felt like the build up to the end was so huge, and then you like find out who done it, and you're like, oh. And then it just, I don't know, it just like, it went by so quickly. So it definitely got bogged down with like setting up the future books in the series and those predictable plot twists that you see coming a mile away. But the beginning and the middle were just like so worth it, like probably 5-star quality. But like I said, the end, it just kind of, it was just a little too predictable. It was a little too quick. It wasn't as fleshed out. It was almost like, oh crap, this book's getting too long. End of story. Now that's why I want to talk to you about there being more books in the series. Obviously, with how it ends, you know there's going to be more books in the series. I don't think they have announced the title of the second book yet. Let me check. Yes, the second book in the trilogy or series or whatever has not even gotten a title yet or a release date, but it is eventually going to come. You could just tell by the way that this left kind of like on a cliffhanger, and there's just more that needs to happen. That, I mean, you would really have to rely on either A, your love of the characters, or B, like your love of the world. And I can't say that I was, even though the world was done super well and the games were done super well, I think the direction that the second book would take, like the setting of the second book wouldn't be the same. And I think what I loved about this one is that the majority of the story was set in Tokyo and in the actual game of Warcross, and that's what was done so well. So I'm not so sure I would like the second book as much. I mean, I liked the characters, I liked that they were diverse, but they're not my favorites by any means. So I don't know right now if I will continue in the series. But I am happy to say that I am happy with have read this one, and I'm okay with stopping here because that way I can fill in my own story, what's going to happen from here, and I'm totally okay with that. But I definitely recommend this story if you are into young adult, sci-fi, video games, hacker, coding, gaming. I really thought it was cool. If you like Tokyo at all, if you like virtual reality games, anything like that, I think you would really enjoy this. I really did. I was shocked with how much I liked it and how fast I flew through it. But those are all of my thoughts about Warcross. If you have any questions, let me know down in the comment section down below. Again, let me know if you know anything about the audiobook, physical book, like what stage audiobooks happen, because I really did like the narration of the story and all of that, but there were just so many things changed or so many things left out. Not that they were to the detriment of the story. It says, my steps quicken as I head up, and the narrator said, my quick step in as I climb the stairs. So it's just like slight changes like that. Again, 4 stars, highly recommend. And thank you for joining me today to listen to my thoughts about Warcross. Let me know if you've read it or if you plan to, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye!